Hello. Hi. Um, welcome. I am streaming again. Hooray. How's everyone? Hi, Vessel. Congrats on first. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I don't have too much time, I guess. I was hoping to stream for a bit longer, but sleep didn't happen and such. Like, start a bit earlier, essentially. Um, but sleep didn't happen, and so, yeah. I started later than I wanted to, and because I have work later in the day, that just means my time is cut off, effectively. Um, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. Um, yeah, I usually play Baldur's Gate 2, but that is an investment, and I want to get a schedule going first. Get music here. Okay. Is it going? It's going. I need some nice lo-fi music. At some point, I realize. Um, just for the background. Yeah, so I'm just gonna sit here for now and talk and chat and I don't know. Maybe play something small. I have no idea yet. Um, and finish my breakfast. That's also a thing that's still happening. Oh heck. My streamer bot is still broken. Rie Sonomura, hey, welcome. Thank you very much for the lurk and welcome. Yeah, and thank you for it's not connected to my Twitch yet. Okay, I need to test things again. Thank you for incidentally testing my alerts. I updated StreamerBot. There was a big update. And so things are still not quite working. I am connected to OBS. I am now connected to Twitch. So hopefully I can read the Twitch API when I get like follows and redeems and such. Let's check. Let's test the follow.
Updated my journal.
Okay, now it works. Now it works. Okay. Um yeah. So I'll just be here for now. Um Chinese New Year is next year. Next year. Yeah, no, not technically it is next year. Next week. Oh my goodness. Bleh, brain. What is happening? Speakerbot. It's not connected to Speakerbot. Yay for troubleshooting. Connect. Can I connect? No. I'll check that during break. I now know that it's broken. Okay. So Chinese New Year is next week. On like the new year starts on Tuesday. And so exactly one is it? Oh, we have Tuesday today? No. Yes. Yes. Wow. We do have Tuesday today. I don't know where my brain went. Um so in exactly 1 week is the first day of the new year. And yes, over here that's a pretty exciting time. Right? Things actually do wind down, kids get vacation. Um, everyone goes back home to celebrate. Back home meaning like back home to parents, right? It is the big yearly celebration, the big yearly family celebration. Which is why if you're coming to visit Taiwan or perhaps China, um stay away from Chinese New Year. Unless you know someone here who is willing to like invite you to the celebrations, right? Stay away from Chinese New Year celebrations because everything will be closed down. Everyone will just be at home eating food, and you will be all alone on the streets. Not that extreme, but you know what I mean, right? It's like yeah, there's nothing happening. Nothing's open, right? Stores aren't really open. Especially not all the small stores that are the interesting ones. Even larger stores might close for a day or two, right? Nothing like everything is reduced hours, everything's and flights are gonna be expensive because everyone is coming home. So yeah, do avoid like the week and a half before and after Chinese New Year. If you are coming here, if you are planning on visiting, just as a travel tip. And do check the date because Chinese New Year is based off the lunar calendar, the Chinese lunar calendar, so it moves around all the time. Hey, Lunactic Inferno, hello, hello. I am actually excited for Chinese New Year this year because I plan to use it for spring cleaning and just relaxing for once, since every other time I work two jobs. Oof. Dang, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that is basically where the Chinese spring cleaning is, right? It's the New Year's cleaning, which is usually like late winter cleaning because it's like Chinese New Year moves around between February and March typically. Um Somewhere around there. But yeah, it is the big cleaning period, is the big resetting period. Definitely. So yeah, cool, cool. My mom is also like, yeah, we have to wash all of the mosquito doors and all of the mosquito, what do you call them? Not nets. Like on windows and doors here, we have the I don't actually know what you call them in English. The mesh, mosquito mesh, right? And because it's a fine mesh, it gathers a lot of dust over the years. So my mom was like, "Yeah, we gotta wash them." I was like, "Okay." I get to take a break just to clean myself mentally and clean the apartment, refresh my spirit. Yeah, awesome. I'm hoping to do the same. I'm hoping to use these 2 weeks. Like this week is kind of winding down because people are going home, right? So they're not no longer here, and then next week is the full week vacation. I'm planning on using these 2 weeks to reset as well, get my sleeping schedule under wraps, under order, and yeah. Vetalina, hello. Peggle 2. I have never played Peggle, but we'll see. How are you doing? It's like in America, old houses used to have storm windows, which were these thicker glass window panels that go on the outside of the window to replace the mesh screens. Oh, oh, dang. Okay. So in Asia, it's like those, but an extra mesh net. Yes, yes, yes. So every window, every door is actually two doors or two windows, and because we have sliding windows, right? So you basically have two rails, one for the glass that properly closes the window, and one for the mosquito mesh. Good. Oh, I had a sneeze there. That didn't come out. Mm. But yeah, one for the mosquito mesh that you can independently open and close from the glass window. Usually you keep it closed because, you don't want or you want the mosquitoes to stay outside where they belong. Uh Time to wash the walls, shampoo carpets, smack those carpet having. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And it feels good cleaning like that. I do hope that I can clean out our fridge. It probably still has some stuff buried in there from like 3 years ago. That is now, I don't know, become sentient by now. Um, so yeah, that's my big task. Um, I used to live in a place with lots of tornadoes. Oh, that's okay. Tornadoes terrify me. I say that as someone who grew up in and is currently living in a country that gets regular typhoons and earthquakes and like mudslides and sometimes flooding. Like we've had some really bad flooding when I was a kid. By now the infrastructure is better, but yeah, so we had all of these things. I have to say tornadoes terrify me. So dang. So we had to throw both panels in during tornado storms. Yeah. So if the glass window broke, the mesh screen would keep the glass from getting into the house. Oh, and the real glass of the windows from breaking from the vacuum pressure. Yeah, dang, dang. That's that sounds very high tech. But yeah, that's yeesh. Mm, we totally grew up with our farmland flooding. Oof, because three sides of our land was surrounded by a river. Oh my goodness. High tech now. It was born of Dust Bowl era for sure. Yeah, I can imagine. Um, it's just more glass, just in when in doubt, just put on more stuff. Just put on extra, extra layers, extra stuff, extra. Just pile it on. So yeah, I mean flooding is it still happens here, and we did have a very bad flood slash mudslide happen in the mountains just last year, during typhoon season in November, where like a small town basically got buried. It was pretty bad. It was one of those cases where scientists warned authorities, and then authorities didn't react appropriately. It was one of those situations, which is always an extra layer on top of the tragedy. Like if things happen and you don't know it could have happened this way, it really really sucks, right? But that's you deal with it. But if it's like, no, we could have prevented this or we could have mitigated this, but we didn't because the people in like the responsible positions just sat on their hands, that is extra crap. Um, so we still get those, but far less, especially in the cities because infrastructure, like Taiwan definitely learned from previous floods, and we have built a lot of infrastructure to help mitigate that. Uh, well, old houses had those wooden window shutters. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Storm windows replaced those. Yeah, okay. Which do sound more durable than wooden window shutters. Definitely. Last year's typhoons were so bad all over in Asia and Pacific Islands. I know. And I mean it is global warming, right? And the thing is, we had typhoons in late November. Um, and when that happened, when typhoons kept forming in late November, we got news because whenever there's a typhoon approaching, right, it's always on the news. It's always like, oh, we're observing the path very carefully, we're calculating where it might go, and we're making preparations and things. And when typhoons hit, it's like, oh, okay, are we gonna close down cities? Are we gonna say don't go to work, don't go to school, right? Things like that. So everyone keeps following along. My friends in the Philippines were so worried. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. I think there was one that was just over Manila or like over the northern. head of the Philippines. It's just straight over it. That was pretty intense. It was, I think it was supposed to come to us and then it went down there instead, or something along those lines. So it's like, oh my goodness. Yes, that one. Yeah. Like you could see just half the Philippines gone underneath that thing. It was pretty intense. Um, but yeah, when the news were saying like, oh yeah, here's the weather report, the typhoon is coming this way, blah, it's gonna make landfall over here on this day and so on. Everyone like, especially in the older generations, like my parents, my mom's generation, were all like, typhoons in November? This does not happen. We've never had this before. It's like, yeah, it's gonna keep happening. It's just, this is the new normal. It's the um. So yeah, it sucks. Mm. Here, since we continue to not having enough rainfall to make snow in the mountains, when we finally get lots of rain last month and this month, there was nothing to catch hold that rain or freeze it. Oh, how's it's been over? It's been 60. I'm gonna assume that's Fahrenheit. The whole winter, all around us, major flooding. Yeah, yeah. See, it's like it impacts all of these things. Um, and people are just like, I like warmer days. It's like, yeah, but it's not just gonna be warmer days. And the ironic thing is, why people in like the far north are like, oh, I like warmer days. It's so cold here. I want to have warmer days. Yeah, guess what global warming does, or climate change does? It weakens the Arctic vortex, so it's not gonna stay in the north. It's just gonna move further down, and you'll still have cold days. Um, it's just gonna be a lot worse. Hooray! Good job. Right, so oh man. I live near the Canadian border. Oh, we have not had snow in years because of that. That's also another effect. Yeah. Same in Germany. I remember when I was a kid, a little kid, like 5, 6 years old, right? In Germany, we would have snow every winter regularly. Lots of snow. Like you could just go out to a hill somewhere and sled down. You could build proper snowmen, and things like that. And now, um, not really. The warmest winter I had when I was in grad school, or shortly after graduating grad school, was like 5 degrees Celsius. It's like it didn't even drop under zero. What? Around Christmas, it's usually around zero or slightly below. And then that day, that winter, that December, it was like 5 degrees was the lowest one. Um, so it's like, oh, okay, yeah, nice. Okay, my frame rate keeps being very unstable. I hope that's not gonna cause too much trouble. Mm, now the ground mountains are utterly fucked because they are so dried out and get no freeze thaw cycle. Oh, vegetation, fish, whatnot, just flat out die. Yeah. To minus 10 Fahrenheit now, it never gets lower than 40 or 60. That is a big difference. Holy heck. That's intense. Wow. I mean, Germany now can get 40 degrees summers, 40 Celsius summers. Um the the state I am in now is known for having so much rain, and yet we don't get it. Oof. Yeah. Um, and all of the policies and all of the infrastructure and all of the like, what is it, like farmers' wisdom? Like life preparation lessons or so are all geared toward the old system, and that's no longer the case, right? If you get lots of rain, you have infrastructure for rain, and if you suddenly get droughts, you don't have infrastructure for that. It's like, oh, okay. And in Germany, or like in Europe, in a lot of places, more northern Europe, houses are all built to retain heat because for the past 500 years, um, that was the biggest concern, heating your house, right? Um, so people built houses to retain heat. And now, in the span of like 10, 20 years, it's like, yeah, heating is not a problem anymore. Cooling the house is a real problem. If it's 35, 40 degrees outside, you sit inside a stone oven. Um, yeah, but we can't just tear down all the houses and retrofit them for, cooling. So it sucks. It just exacerbates the problem. I will say one good policy about the carbon tax in the state literally had so much money kicked back that they paid residents out about $200 for their electric bills. Wow. Okay, that's nice. Yet, of course, big companies are bitching about how they gotta pay a carbon tax. Their fault, and not like they're paying enough taxes anyway. Indeed. I mean, what is it? ExxonMobil, the gas company, knew about the veracity of climate change since the 70s. And they were like, we'll make money. If I remember correctly, too, Germany has some of the greatest innovation coming out for heat pumps to solve that problem. Like heating or cooling? Two states here finally passed laws that force landlords companies to provide cooling because of the heat issue. Ah, okay. I'm not actually sure about the heat pumps thing. What I do know is, as recently as 10 years ago, the government paid subsidies to homeowners, like private subsidies, like private in the sense that they were directly paid out to private people, right? So subsidies to retrofit your home to retain heat. Um, I don't know if that program still exists. Heat pumps can do both. Okay, yes, I guess. Yeah. Mm, they take heat and pump out air like AC, but they can take air in general and also heat it. Ah, okay. I don't actually know too much about that field, so I haven't heard about Germany innovating on that. To be fair. Mm, that is happening here, yeah, because the place I'm in, we don't have AC unless we use an Asian indoor AC unit thing. And the state's requiring and paying out subsidies to put in heat pumps to cool the apartments. Yeah. So they got to remodel the apartments now to include them. Definitely. That's a big thing. So, eh. Oh man. So, but even here in Taiwan, like as a kid, um, during winter, like in Taiwan, it doesn't really snow. We don't really have snow lying anywhere except on like the highest peaks. Um, but during winter, every now and then was when I was still in school, like middle school and such. Up in the mountains, not too high, just outside the city. Occasionally you would get snowfall. It wouldn't stay, and it was just a little bit, but you would actually get snow. It would cool down enough for anything falling down to become snow. Um, Now that's unimaginable. Like winter does not go below 10 degrees. So that's it. I read about it last week because of all the news coming out of how some states are looking at Germany and other countries and how they're doing it. Oh, okay. Hmm. Now I have to see if it's possible to like make a small um homemade version of something like that. I do know that when I was still living in Germany, I built an improv AC unit. It's not really AC, but like that uses a fan, a bucket, and ice. I just went to the hardware store, bought some things, and then built myself the small unit that could at least blow cool air to where I was. Um, but yeah, it was pretty painful. Oof. Okay, I finished my breakfast. Hooray! Mm, but yeah, Chinese New Year. We don't have any big plans for it, which is good because then I can use that to wind down. And also, I think I'm never sure about this, but I think February is my anniversary, affiliate anniversary. Let me check, actually. Let me check. Come on. I have it written down. Um, 28th of February. Wow. Yeah, 28th of February 2022. I got affiliate. 4 years ago. Holy heck. It's been a while. Dang. I was suddenly overcome with like, holy heck, what did I do these 4 years? um, but yeah, that might warrant a celebration. Of some sort. I'm still unsure of what I'll do. Um, Things that I usually do for celebrating things are just Euro Truck. Oh, that's a cute emote, and it's animated. Nice, nice. Um, yeah. So Euro Truck and like I usually do this during New Year's, like the Gregorian New Year's, for lack of a better term, right now. I would do a drink and drive stream um to celebrate and to as I say it's a PSA to show people not to drink and drive. Um but it's also just a lot of fun. So what I literally do is just I drink uh to celebrate the New Year's, and then I play Euro Truck Simulator. Um and that leads to expected results. So yeah, if I don't know if I'll do something like that this time around. Mm, I'll have to look at things like my work schedule and such. But that is always a possible idea. Maybe tie it to a charity stream or something. I'll have to see. Um, yeah. I don't know. I'm there's like it's lower priority. Basically, it's like a celebration stream, and I can also always do a big celebration stream for 5 years of streaming. Right? Who knows where I am next year? But it feels more appropriate, especially now since I'm using this time to reset and to do things like get my sleep schedule under control and get a proper streaming schedule up and running that works for my job and like the people around me and such, right? And then just throwing in I will spend this day getting drunk. Oh, and also I stream during the not during morning, but like I start early in the day, more early in the day. So if I get drunk then, I'm like, yeah, the whole day is gonna be shot. So that requires a bit more planning than doing it late at night. Uh, the where's my bitrate going? Why is my bitrate? It's not completely dying, but it is hiccuping. Uh-oh. Is the connection okay? Is the stream? Okay, I hope it's just minor stutters here and there. It's not the stream actually crashing because like my connection has been so unstable as of late. Um I don't know if it's Twitch's side or if it's like the connection I have in my home, if it's something to do with Taiwan or so. I don't know, but the connection keeps being unstable and eventually just dropping down to like 2 digits or something. That is such a mood, taking care of yourself, then finding a spot for you to do something you enjoy. Yeah, yeah, I know. Especially the older I get. Like I did when I had my 1 year affiliate celebration, I did a 24-hour stream. I was 3 years younger then, and I am feeling the 3 years now. I am definitely feeling it. Especially since I went through a lot of things in the meantime. I might get there again. Age is a number at the end of the day, and it's more about like, are you healthy? Are you anxious or not? Are you sleeping enough? Are you exercising and things like that, and that have much bigger impact than just age. So I might get back there again. Um, but we'll have to see. It's fine. It just only had a couple stutters. Okay, thanks for letting me know. The world has drastically changed too, and people have gotten too used to being pushed around to put their health on the back burner and then take care of themselves. Yeah, and it also didn't help that I had burnout. Like quite literally, um I had burnout from my jobs. I had three. Um, so I'm only now properly recovering from that. It took a while. It took, yeah, the last 3 years or so, for me to finally have rested enough and be like, I feel like I can do things again. Good that people are taking initiative to identify that they want to live a healthy, meaningful life. Yeah, it is healthy, and I think it's a good pushback against the whole corporatized you must work for profit. Like people who are able to, that they can just say, you know what, my life is also important. Same though, even as my doctor told me, some people just don't recover from what it's done to their body, just mentally, spiritual. Yeah, I can totally imagine. Mm. And I might never fully recover. It's just how it's gonna be. Mm. But I I do feel much better than I did just a year ago. And even like my friends are picking up on it. Like my IRL friends, they're like, okay, compared to a year ago, right? You do seem very different and that's such. It's like, okay, okay, that's good to hear. It's good to hear. So it works. I means I am recovering. It's about being kinder to yourself and giving yourself that space. Yeah, definitely. Self care is important. Um, and it's a big lesson to learn because like the indoctrination is so strong. It really is. So it's difficult to unlearn very much. Um, but yeah, it's and I do know that I won't ever do what I did. So I worked 3 jobs, which led to my burnout. Not 3 full-time jobs. That couldn't have been. But like I was allowed to work a certain number of hours a week, and I just stuffed 3 different jobs from my grad school into that time, thinking, oh, you know what, if I work, was it the 40 hours, right, or like 30, 38 and a half, something like that, um that the government allows me to work, and if I just stuff it full of different jobs, because a single job wasn't able to give me enough, right? The biggest one I had was half that time. Um, and I had 2 smaller jobs that filled out the other half. I was like, I'm still working my 40 hours a week, and it's okay. Other people do that. Except working 40 hours a week on one big job versus working 40 hours a week on 3 small projects that constantly demand your attention. Not constantly, but like that demand a lot of very different attention, and that you do a lot of different things for them, um is very different, right? And it just ground me down so much, but I was thinking, I need the money. I am still young. If I can work a lot now and earn a bit more money now, then I can, chill out when I'm a bit older. And look where that brought me. It got so bad that I stopped working completely, and then all the money I had saved up, just I had to burn that up during the time I couldn't work. So yeah, I have practically no savings. Because I used them all up during the time I was burnt out and couldn't work. So all the money I wanted to earn with those 3 jobs, I ended up having none of it. And I didn't even use it on something I wanted to use it on, right? I didn't use it for, like, I don't know, buying something nice or going on a trip or whatever the heck, right? It's like, yeah, good job me. So don't do that. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do that to yourself. In a sick way, it feels like was done to by people by design. In a certain way, definitely yes. And it very much is, and in some countries more, like especially countries with less worker protections. At least Germany is very good about that, right? Um, so that's like that was not the big worry, but it's also just a lot of people I knew and was on good terms with came to me and said, "Oh, I want you to work with me on this project. Can you join?" And I didn't want to let them down. Right? And I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure. I still have like, I don't know, 12 hours a week to go. Sure. Sign me up. I want to get paid." Um, so all we can do is stop playing the game and go to a different direction, or else nothing will change to build a better society. Yeah, it is difficult though, because at this point a lot of people are trapped, right? They cannot afford, like monetarily afford, to get out and start their own thing because they are trapped. And it's by design. It's 100% by design. So, eh, el problema es el capitalismo. Um, oh heck, my captions actually got that. uh, Especially in other countries, America being one where they have torched family community value in which you should get support from one another. Yeah, the big one. Oh man. Yeah, but I was how long? I basically stayed in bed for a year, a bit more than a year. But just I barely left the house. I mean, to be fair, that was also during like the big peak of COVID when everyone was kind of don't go out unless you have to. It's like, oh, nice. Yeah, I can't go, I don't have the energy to go out anyway. Let's go. So that played into it. Um, but yeah, it didn't help. Which means that if you are all by yourself, you may or may not have friends to help out. A lot of older people won't get into it. Destroy their relation with their kids, with how they behave and their outdated nonsense. Yes, which again was like it was by design since they didn't want kids, they just wanted cheap labor. Yes, cheap labor and like trophies. And a lot of people I feel were not necessarily are, but were pressured into it. It's like the only purpose you exist is to have more kids. Now, after people have gotten so sick in multiple ways, not just COVID, that support system is just isn't there. Yep. And people who never could rely on family have to go in a different direction for that support, definitely. That's definitely a thing. Yep. So parents living their life vicariously through their kids, not realizing that their kids are independent beings. Yeah, that's a big thing. Um, kids pageants, kids beauty pageants. Holy heck. And people cannot fill their lives with work as a purpose anymore. Yep. Oh, there's something wrong with my. There's something wrong with my microphone input. People cannot just fill their lives. It just doesn't pay for anything. Okay, hold on. Where's my audio? I'm just noticing there seems to be something wrong with my microphone. If what is going on? Okay, that's sorry. I'm getting distracted. Because the this is the usually when I stream, I'm focused on a game. This time I'm just keeping my OBS under scrutiny, and it's like this is wrong, that is wrong, everything is broken. Uh so why is hold on. Wait, why are these things not huh? Wait a minute. Why are my filters on my microphone not on? What the heck? How does oh dang, now it's really soft. Uh-oh. I had that happen the other day. My streaming software just totally dropped my mic settings. It's not that the streaming software, hold on. It's not just that the streaming software, it's my microphone software itself. Okay, my mic right now is probably really soft. I do apologize for that. Okay, hold on, I have to turn down the music. Because I only just noticed what I'm doing is I have okay, hold on. I think I turned them off at one point and never turned them back on. So what I do is let me turn them back off for now. Or at least this one. Okay. Okay, I turned off the compressor. That should make it a bit clearer. I run Wavelink, which is an audio channel management program. Super useful. Hello, Capsize. How are you doing? Welcome. We are fixing scuff once again. So what I do is I run Wavelink, right? Which yeah, it allows me to split all my audio outputs into different channels depending on the program that produces this output. Or even my input, like my mic runs over a different channel as well. And that allows me to individually adjust these channels, put filters and effects on them, and also lead them into OBS as these different channels, right? I can add audio, like I have my browser audio separated out. I have Discord voice separated out. I have my mic, the music and everything. Is Draco Malfoy trending? What? No, I don't really try to keep up with Harry Potter news in general, but no. I would hope not. I would hope that nothing Harry Potter is trending. Mic audio seems different. It is different, yes, because I am now messing around with filters. So I have a bunch of things on OBS itself, a bunch of filters, like a gain and a limiter and such. Noise gate, noise suppression, all of the things you're supposed to have, right? But then on Wavelink itself, I have EQ and noise removal. Maybe I shouldn't use double noise removal. I don't know. But I have EQ. See, Malfoy pun translates to horse fortune. Oh no. Oh, okay. I see it. Mafu. Yeah, okay. Ah, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. In before Malfoy headed horse images come out for Year of the Horse. Please no. Please no. Words. Harry Potter stuff. That's we don't condone. But yeah, I realized I have an EQ set up. For those, in case anyone is wondering, like, what the heck am I talking about? So, this is streamer tips. Streamer tips. If you want to stream, one of the most important things, if you are not a mute streamer, is your microphone quality, right? Or your sound quality. And there are a lot of things you can do to mess with your sound quality of speaking into the mic. One of the biggest things is a compressor or a limiter or something along those lines, which essentially just means it takes the sound that you produce into the mic and compresses it so that the smaller sounds, the lower sounds, as in volume wise, the quiet sounds and the really loud sounds get compressed more toward the middle. Or if it's a limiter, they just get cut off entirely. And that means that you won't blow out your listeners' ears, right? So I have that running. I still need, because like you can run filters on an audio channel thing, like I have on Wavelink, and you can run filters on OBS itself. I personally want to run as much as I can over Wavelink because then that affects everything, including things like Discord and such. And then another thing you can do is do an EQ, an equalizer. So you can change how different frequencies of your voice are boosted or reduced depending on how you want them. And there are some general tips on what you can do. Like you can boost these frequencies because that's usually where the clarity comes in, right? If people can hear these frequencies more clearly, they can more easily make out what you're saying. Whereas if you boost this area, that reduces sharp sounds like S sounds and such. And so on and so forth. There's some general tips. It's a lot of toying around. And I had one set up. I had an EQ set up, but apparently it was never on. It was just sitting there, not touched. So I've turned it on for now, which is why it sounds different. Please do let me know if good different or bad different, because it's been a while since I have set up this EQ. And I didn't realize that when I was setting it up that it wasn't on in the first place, so I couldn't hear any changes I was making. So I was just shifting things around, talking, listening back to myself. And I was like, I don't hear a difference. What's going on? So do let me know if it's good different, bad different. Yeah. Also, an ad is gonna start any second now. I will use this to fix the speaker bot settings, hopefully. And yeah, maybe get things to work. I need to look up real quick how to connect SpeakerBot to StreamerBot, because it disconnected at some point. Speaker bot. There we go. How do I set it up? I dread having to rebalance my stuff when I get new DAC with my headset. Oh, yeah. It's and also, of course, the hardware. The hardware always affects things. What mic are you actually using? If you're using like one of those fancy aux mics, like do you have an external compressor that needs power itself and so on? Like a lot of things affect it. Okay, streamer bot. This is old streamer bot. So speaker bot. I need to check the port. WebSocket server. Address, start server. Auto start. Speaker bot broke. Okay, it didn't auto start its own server. Connecting. Oops, I accidentally closed speaker bot. That was very smart. There we go. Connected. There we go. Okay. Solved. Problem is solved. Yay. Hold on. I can now open the door real quick. SpeakerBot barely gets used, but because it's only for things, I don't even know. Was it subs where you can insert a message that gets spoken? I forgot. It's been so long since I last set up everything. That's another thing. I want to. I always say I want to do another pass at all of the tech that I have set up for this. It really is. You just discover these tools as you go. You learn these tools as you go, and then you set things up over many, many years. And at some point, it's like, yeah, I set this thing up 3 years ago. I forgot what it does. Because I've been setting up so many other things in the meantime. I completely forgot what this does. I didn't, or better yet, I forgot that I had this. So yeah, ads are over. I hope everyone's back. Welcome back. Yeah, so that's it's one of the joys, but also one of the pains of being a streamer, right? Because there's so much tech, especially if you're a VTuber, right? You also have your model, and you have all of the programs associated with that. Like a lot of streamers use things like Vinian to get a lot of effects going on and automate things. I'm amazed at how many tools there are now and how much you can automate, and it's really, really amazing. And if you just take it step by step and learn it bit by bit, that's really, really cool what you can do. Like a lot of my alerts are now automated, right? If someone, not just if someone follows, for example, or if someone raids, right? The whole thing is automated. It puts out a raid alert with like a shout out automatically. I no longer have to do that myself. You can even do things like check-ins. I that's also something I might want to do at some point, right? Check-ins. So every stream you can just use a redeem to check in, and then you can save that to a variable in your streaming bot of choice per user. and that it saves that number. So if they keep checking in, that number will grow, and you can just display that on stream, and such. And that's also like a cool little perk, you know, things like that. Or like some people have entire mini games like programmed into these bots. It's wild what you can do nowadays. So that's really really cool. I have not swapped to StreamerBot yet, but I want to. I just know nothing about it, barely know how to transfer shit from Mix It Up to my chatbot over to StreamerBot. Okay. Is there a reason why you want to leave Mix It Up? Like the way I've heard it is that they both do very very similar things, and it's mostly about which one you started off with and which one you vibe with more. Like I started off with StreamerBot because that's the first one I learned about, and that's the one where I saw a lot of good tutorials for. Some of the stuff in Mixup just doesn't work now. Oh heck. Okay. Okay, dang. So I mean, I'm very happy with StreamerBot, and there is an entire channel. There's this streamer called Nutty, who does a lot of amazing tutorial videos, and like update videos and news on StreamerBot itself. So that's really really cool, and very accessible in that manner, right? And so like the beginning setup is very very easy. Like my shout out stuff recently has not wanted to work anymore, where it used to pop up a little window thing showing the streamer you are shouting out, and now all it does is just put the text in the chat and nothing on screen. Oof. Okay. Yeah, problem is my autism makes it so hard to understand any of those tutorials. Oh. Okay. I mean, StreamerBot itself. Hold on, where is my StreamerBot? There. I've never used Mix It Up, so I don't know how different it is. But let me see. Yeah, it's just one project. I hope to do this year. Yeah, I feel you. I have ideas of things I want to do, like huge ideas of things I want to do. But definitely not finding the time, not finding the inclination. Okay, let's see. That is the wrong screen. This is where we are. But also there's a big update coming on OBS soon, and I'm looking forward to that one because it'll streamline a lot of the kind of sort of back end management that you do on OBS, and makes things more context dependent, which is always nice to have. Let's see. There we go. Supposedly you can just import stuff over, but man, that kind of thing's hard when you don't know how to fix anything that does break. Yeah. Right now my Mix It Up can do daily check-ins and stuff, but if that broke, then transferring to StreamerBot, I couldn't ever fix it. I mean, you could always manually re-enter things, I guess. But yeah, the big thing, I mean, this is, I can't use OBS still cause it crashes and has audio issues. Oof. Wait, then what do you use to stream if you can't use OBS? Now I'm curious. Is there like, is XSplit still a thing? I'm stuck with slops. Oh no. My condolences. Yeah. Okay, then I hope that at some point OBS will work. Maybe the new update will add stability. Right. XSplit is still a thing, but it doesn't do much anymore in comparison to OBS and slow. Yeah, I could imagine. It was enough 10 years ago when streaming was catching on to a wider audience. 12 years ago and such even. But nowadays, yes, I'm gonna totally try it when they do the update. It will take a lot of time for me to remake all the overlays. Oh yeah, that is definitely a big thing. But it will be a lot easier because currently how OBS works is you have your scenes and then you have to click into a scene to see all of the sources that are used in the scene. You don't have an overall source viewer, right? You don't have anything where you can view all of the sources that you have anywhere, and then just kind of take them and plonk them into scenes as you need it. You constantly need to be like, oh, I need to create a new source. I need to select what type it is. And then I need to check if I already have that, right? Same with slops. Yeah. I would say the slops cloud service saved my arms a good number of times losing scenes. Oof. Okay. No, you gotta choose scenes to use. Yeah, exactly. And that is one of the big things they're changing. They are putting in a source viewer, like a complete source overview, which also makes sure that you don't kind of forget sources exist, right? If you set something up for a single stream or had something set up like 2 years ago and completely forgot about it, but then you still have those sources just sitting around, and then every time you start up OBS, they get loaded in again. Like that's just not very efficient. So you can definitely see, okay, I still have all of these sources here, and it feels a lot more tidy and organized. And maybe that will also help with the whole, I have to create scenes just to group sources to put those scenes into other scenes. Like my just chatting scene right now, it has a source for my VLC. It has a source for my microphone. It has a source for my microphone. It's not in the audio source? Hello? Apparently not. Why is it not in my audio scene? But I have an audio scene that is Discord and browser audio. That's it. That's all it is. And then I put that scene into other scenes to wire the audio into there. Why is my microphone not part of that? That is so weird. Huh. Again, I don't know what I was thinking. Why? Huh? Because I don't see anything where I have just audio and not mic, or the other way around. Just mic and no audio. I don't, Okay, that's something to clean up. Put my microphone into my audio scene. And then I have a scene of scenes. Right, I have a scene called All Major, and that is just a collection of 3 scenes. So I have 3 scenes, my alerts, my date and time, and my streamer bot alerts, which are 2 different things. Apparently. I don't know why. But those are all scenes. And I have all of these scenes packed to another scene, and then I put that scene into the scenes I'm actually using, which is such a mess. It's such a mess. So that, but yeah, that's that's how it works, I guess. Having to flip back and forth and stuff, and having the program reload every source. What would crash it? Definitely, yeah. Duplicating sources from scratch while flipping back and forth between scenes is nuts. Yeah, exactly. It makes it so much more functional. Because every time you have scenes, you have to add things manually. You might not have the same value adjustments when you added them. Yes. Big thing. When you add, I think they keep that as well. If you have a scene, not a scene, a source, you can, I think, adjust like have a default position and sizing for that source. So when you put it into a new scene, it's automatically that, I think. When you add them, so OBS tries to reload everything to those new settings when choosing scenes. That there's just yeah, exactly. It's a lot of unnecessary loading happening in between. I'd have to worry every time going from like just chatting to be right back to starting ending. Yeah. Yes, definitely. So the new update is hopefully going to help that, and it will also include context sensitive. I think that was one of the things. It will include context sensitive menus, which is a big thing. So context sensitive menus is where the menus that you see are changed based on what you have selected. Right. So if you have your audio mixer selected, right, the menus it will show you in your general menu section are going to be different from if you had your scene selected and so on. And then there's a lot of small quality of life changes. So it's not a completely new program, but there's a lot of small quality of life changes. There's audio mixer change coming. There's like docking, where in OBS you put everything. Like right now, OBS is locked to you having the preview or like your main window, your stream window. That has to be in the center. And that has to be visible there. And now you can move it around, and you can put other things on top of it if you want, right? So if you have, say, a vertical view and a horizontal view, and you're only streaming vertically, you can just change that around. So there's a lot of cool things happening. That's a big one. But what I like about oh, my Twitch alerts are in here, right? Wait a second. My streamer bot alerts are already in the alerts scene. And then I have them again in the all major scenes? Scene? What? Okay, I need to test this. Look at me fixing things. Okay, so if I go here and test the follow trigger.
Updated my journal.
It's not showing it.
Updated my journal.
It's not showing anything. That's because StreamerBot is covering it. I am very smart.
Updated my
There
journal.
we go. Okay, so I don't actually see. I accidentally doubled up on something. Get rid of this. Get rid of that because it's already. So I have a scene in a scene in a scene in a scene. Awesome. Okay. Okay, fixed it. Hey, we're fixing things. The biggest thing I like about StreamerBot right now, big thing I use it for, is custom alerts. And by custom, I mean self-made. Like all of these alerts that you see happening, I made them piece by piece myself, which is pretty cool. So you can kind of see on the streamer bot if it's not too small. If I make it a bit smaller on here, and then make it bigger on here again. Hold on. Maybe this will be clearer. Okay. So I have here there. Okay. So this is actions, right? This is essentially the heart of StreamerBot. which is where you say what kinds of things need to happen. And then you always have triggers that trigger the action, and then what happens once the action is triggered. So my follow event, for example, is like whenever a streamer bot detects that someone followed, it does all of this down here. And all of this down here essentially means it plays a sound, which is the update in my journal thing. Then it sets my impression in VTube Studio, right? I didn't pay attention to see if that worked. Let me see.
Updated my journal.
It worked. Ha! Okay, nice. Yes, so it sets my expression in VTube Studio. And then it sends a message in Twitch chat. Right? Which is this, thanks for joining, all of this. And then it sets the alert. So I have a source that is inside my streamer bot alerts, follow alert, and then it sets that to visible. And then it waits for 7.5 seconds, and then it sets that back to hidden. So that book that you see and the name that you see appear. Oh, and there's another thing. Oh no, there's no name because follows are anonymous, of course. And then it disables the expression in VTube Studio again. So that means I set this up as its own source or source group in this case, right? On streamer on OBS. That's probably a bit easier to see on OBS. And it's just constantly there, and then it's set to visible when someone follows, then it delays, and then it hides it again. For a raid, it's a little bit more involved. So when StreamerBot detects someone raiding, it gathers info. I group this under a gather info, which is it grabs the name, the Twitch name of the raider, stores it in username. And then I have a text field, a text source in OBS, and it changes that text. It's called the alert username source, and it sets the. Where is it? OBS or GDI raid alert text. Hold on. Where does it set the info? So this is where it gathers the information, and then okay, this is where it sets it. So the alert username gets set to the username, then it grabs the profile picture, which is a browser source URL. Which is also in here, I think. And then it changes the browser source URL to the profile picture of the person who just raided. And then it changes the text that is pasted in chat, I believe. Let me check real quick. I'm curious. Ah, that's the number of raiders, right? That also gets grabbed. So it grabs info, it changes all of the text and URL sources that are related to the raid alert, right? Changes all of them with the new info. And then it triggers a VTube Studio animation. It sends a Twitch message. It plays the sound, the raid alert sound, and then once again, it sets this to visible, right? Delays for 5 seconds, and then sets it back to hidden. Delays for half a second, and then it sends a Twitch message where I shout out the user automatically. Which might be overkill. I might have to change that when I get better ideas at some point. But that's how I have it set it up for now, right? So shout out command similar. And the sub, right? It gets the username and so on. Yeah. And this is the global variables that you can use. So I have this counter. I don't think anyone's ever used it. Um, but yeah, I have this stored in a global variable, which is also when someone first redeems a check-in, a daily check-in, for example, you can create a variable with that name. Grab the username, create a variable with that name, and then increment it by 1. Right? And then when they redeem it later on, you grab that variable again, and then increment it by 1 and so on. So it's not too difficult for that. It's pretty cool. I don't know. There's so much more you can do here. And also I like the redeems. I like that you can put redeems into here. So that you don't have to rely on Twitch itself for, because the Twitch redeems have very limited functionality. But with if you can put the redeems into StreamerBot, you can do so much more with them. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I should just move my microphone into my audio. Does this still work? It still works. Nice. Okay. Okay. It still works. Ha. There we go. Then I no longer need that extra microphone source in my list of sources because it just takes up so much space. And it always sits at a different spot in my source list. Sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom, sometimes it's somewhere else. It's like, please. Okay. Why do I have this in here? Okay. Okay, yeah. So so I quite like StreamerBot, and apparently, if you know how to, not apparently, it is like if you know how to program in C sharp, I think that's the language that StreamerBot uses. You can do so much more with it. I don't, but people who do can. So there's a lot of awesome stuff you can do with StreamerBot. Yeah. But yeah, then I wish you good luck with your change over to StreamerBot, and hope that StreamerBot will turn out to be more stable and fulfilling what you need. Blech. Hold on, I misclicked. Nah. Okay. Oof. Okay, I'm slowly feeling this. This sucks. So today, I know that today will kind of suck. Um, I have two lessons to teach today. So 4 hours of teaching. Um, and it'll go pretty late. Like most of the classes I teach are in the evening, like afternoon/evening, because that's when people have time. I teach mainly adults, right? University students or like people who are in the workforce and such. Um, and they only have time in the afternoon/evening, typically. So yeah, um, that's that's when I teach, and I that's okay, I guess. It sucks a little bit because then I'm up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I have to keep in mind. It's not like I get up and then I know I have an hour or an hour and a half to prepare, and then I go to work and then I work my time and come home and then I can just chill until I go to bed. No, it's I wake up and now I have 5 hours to myself, but these 5 hours are never chill because I constantly have to keep in mind I cannot miss when I need to leave for class, right? So these 5 hours, I cannot fully relax. I always have to be like, keep in mind, you need to go. Um, and it sucks, right? And then I come home in the evening, and it's like 7, 8, 9 p.m. depending. Like, I can't unwind because I need to go to bed again, and the next day it's the same. So that's what I hate about. That's the one big thing I hate about my job. Like I love teaching. Uh, I wouldn't do anything else. It's I think I'm very good at it. um, and I really enjoy it. And at least here in Taiwan, you can make relatively good money with it. So that's all amazing stuff. But this teaching later in the day, right? This I get up in the morning and then I can't unwind. I can't even unwind from yesterday. It's because like I'm already in the schedule, right? I have and 5 hours or so is a long time, but it's constantly like, yeah, I know, but I have to keep in mind that once these 5 hours are over, I need to head out to class, and I cannot miss it. So it's not great. So, which is why I'm hoping that at some point I can go to a proper, larger language school that can take me. Also, the way I'm teaching right now is I'm mostly teaching one-on-one classes, and students just kind of discover that we exist, right? And they're like, oh, I'll sign up. So at any point in time, my boss might just call me and say, yo, there's a new student. When do you have time? And then suddenly I have to find time again. And all of the schedules I've done, all of the planning I've done is like, well, that goes in the trash now. Um, so that also sucks. Whereas for a larger school, a more proper school, at the very least, they don't run like that. They say, we have this class. It goes for 3 months or half a year, right? One semester. And it will be on Mondays and Wednesdays from here to then. And then that's it. And then I can say, all right, I can work with that. Literally. Right? So I can schedule that in there, and I know it will not change for the next couple of months. And then once the shift happens, then I know, okay, Now I know to expect new times, but then once I've changed my times, these times will stay for the next half year. So that's a much better cycle of being able to schedule around than just all of a sudden being like, oh my god, there's a new student. When do you have time? Please answer me right now because the parents are pushing for it. It's like, oh my god. And that sucks. It's the whole scheduling thing sucks, right? Scheduling late in the day and these sudden schedules, and then some people coming in for a month and then never returning because they're like, oh, I was just here for trial. um or parents, I don't know, a lot of it is also um parents pushing their kids to take these classes. I teach German, by the way, for those who don't know. There's a lot of parents pushing their kids to take these classes, and so the kids don't want to be there. The parents want to, cheat the school as much as possible, and retain control over as much as possible. Well, it's a constant. It's very antagonistic a lot of the times. Also, because the types of parents who can afford to send their kids to German class as opposed to English or Japanese, which are like by far the two top foreign languages here in Taiwan, and everything else falls by the wayside in comparison. So, right, so if you send your kid to English school, it's like, yeah, okay, I understand. If you send your kid to Japanese school, it's also like, yeah, okay, I understand. Right? Japan, one of the biggest trading, probably the biggest trading partner for Taiwan, and there's a lot of connection to that. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. You want your kid to have a professional future. Sending them to German school? Huh? What? So a lot of the parents who can afford to and think to send their kids to German school are very rich parents for whom the class fees, the tuition fees and such are more like pocket change. But if you know anything about really rich people, they really count every penny. They count every single penny, and they will not let you get anything. So the more it's pocket change, the more careful they are over it. I have had the misfortune of being around enough rich people to see that pattern. Um, like it's the big purchases that they don't care about, right? Because those are quote unquote investments. It's the small purchases that they really, really care about, and they stiff you for so much, and they anyway. Yeah, so it's the parents are often unpleasant to deal with. Not because they're outright hostile, but because they're antagonistic, right? Uncooperative. And then the kids are like, yeah, no, I don't know what I want. My parents, you know, they schedule my entire life. Everything I do is arranged for by my parents. You know, they want me to play chess. They want me to do triathlon. They want me to do this and that. They want us to go on expensive vacations. They blah, 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 all of this stuff. And I have to do this club, and I have to do that club, and I have to do this. I don't have any time for myself. I don't have any interest for myself. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. And then you have like teenager students like that in your class. And as a language teacher, you would go, oh God, what do I do with you? What do I do? I need to motivate you. I need to entertain you. And hopefully pass on a valuable life lesson or two of like, kid, at some point, Gotta grow up, step out of the shadows of your parents. It's gonna happen sooner or later. It will be forced upon you. Like you cannot have your parents arrange everything for you, and then before you know it, you're 30, you have some sort of middle management position, and you have no idea what to do. You don't even know how to deal with people. You don't even know, like, I don't know, you don't have any skills. Basically, it's, you don't even know if you want to be in this job. Uh, yeah. So I guess a lot of other teachers have roles like that, especially teachers who teach in like middle school or high school. When I listen to stories, there's a lot of not just teaching the subject, but teaching about life and teaching life lessons as well. Right. So I definitely feel for that. I get that every now and then as well. I mean, the adults who are out of their own volition come to language class, they're like, yeah, okay, you know what you want. You chose this path. You picked German to learn, which is a very odd choice here. But that means you know what you want to do. You got some control over your life and some control over your free will, to put it that way. That's fine. It's the teenagers who don't know what they want, who've never had to think about what they want. And it's not easy. Not easy. Uh, but you can't let it go. You cannot just let them sit there and wallow. You go, I'm in a position to help. I could help a little bit. Maybe. I could plant a seed. Um well, isn't there, I think I got this from another streamer who's a middle school teacher, Himeo Tsugi, who I think they said that yeah, a lesson they learned about teaching, which is sometimes, especially with like kids, right? When you're teaching kids, not when you're teaching adults, sometimes all you can do is plant a seed, and you will never know how that seed will grow. Um, but simply being a part of that kid's life, simply being there to have the opportunity to plant the seed, might be enough to steer that kid into a fulfilling path, a personally fulfilling path. Um, Probably paraphrasing here, but yeah, that is very profound. It's more applicable to them because they teach middle school, and I teach more adults. But every now and then, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I see. When I get students like that, it's like, yeah, okay. You're 15 or 16, and your parents are like, oh, you're gonna graduate high school soon. You have to go to Germany and study engineering because you need to make lots of money. I have ordained it. Um, Ordained captions, please. I have ordained it. There we go. Uh, yeah. And then and all you can do is just sit there as a teacher who might have them for a month, who might be seeing them a total of 10 times or so, and you go, in these 10 times that we're meeting, can I have a positive effect on your life? Can I help you? Right? Discover yourself. Can I do something for that? And I won't know. I might never meet these people again. There is one student, one single student I'm still in contact with. But that's because I taught her for 1.5 years ish, a year or 1.5 years. um, 3 times a week, and she wanted to be there, right? She really wanted to be there. She wanted to learn German because she was so excited to go to Germany and study there. Um, and so it was a joy to teach. And every now and then she still writes to me. It's like, oh my god, Germany is so strange, and oh my god, I tried this food today. It's like, it's interesting. So she's the only student who still contacts me every now and then. Um, Everyone else, I don't know. No idea. They're just, they walk their own path. So, yeah, and but I guess that's part of being teacher. Sometimes I think back my middle school and high school, I think back to the teachers I had. It's like, oh yeah, they meant so much to us as kids. But even just in that year, they had several hundred kids to deal with, right? And when did I graduate high school? Was it like 20 years ago? In that time, if those people haven't already retired, probably not. They're probably in their 50s by now. So they're probably still going. Um, right? It's like, yeah, no, they might never think about meeting me again. Though very funnily, very funnily, um, I I have thought about going back to my old school to teach. I may have to take some qualification training because my school teaches the IB program, the International Baccalaureate, for which you need special training. Um, and if it costs a lot for a private person to do, I might say, yo, hire me now, pay for my training, and I'll promise to be an amazing teacher at your school, which is also my old school. Yeah. Um, so who knows? Who knows? There's still time, right? I'm not even 40 yet. So there's still time to build up some skills, to get a bit more stable, and then to uh yeah. Like my plan right now is 3 years. Um because what I'm on right now, it's to do with my living situation, my status as an immigrant here in Taiwan. Kind of sort of immigrant, I guess, but legally an immigrant. Um so I have what's called an alien residency, which is, I'm allowed to live here because I work here, but my allowance, my allowance to live here, my permit to work here, live here, to reside here, is tied to my job. So I'm allowed to live here because I work here. If I don't work here, I have to leave. Um, which, this is how a lot of countries handle it. Um, and so that also means it's very difficult to switch jobs or get other jobs and such. Mainly because the legal situation is very hairy. But in 3 years, I should be able to apply for a permanent residency. And that will then allow me to just stay here permanently without it being tied to anything because I have been here for, by that point, it will be 5 years. And have essentially proven my commitment to living in Taiwan, to being in Taiwan, to taking part in Taiwanese society, blah, 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 all the good stuff. And then the government just says, you know what? Okay, fine. You can apply for permanent residency because Taiwan has now become your home, right? And it's like, cool, awesome. And that's kind of the idea, right? In 3 years' time, I'll be able to do that. Um, and then when that gets accepted, it'll be a lot easier to switch jobs, find new jobs, because it's my legal situation is no longer tied to my job. Oh my god, captions, what have you done? My legal situation is no longer tied to my job. There we go. Uh and and by that point a lot of larger language schools have said they're willing to hire me. Um like a lot of languages I've applied to a bunch of language schools here. They all said we really, really want to hire you, but we can't because of your legal situation. Right? We cannot get a work permit for you. It's not something we can do. We don't have the capacity to do that right now. I can't switch to them. But once I have my permanent residency, I can work wherever I want. And then those schools have said, okay, when you're there, when you're at that point legally, then we can hire you. So I essentially have 3 years time to prepare for that. So that's where my plan is now, really. Right, so that's kind of the next big milestone is 3 years from now. And I have the chance to do some of the funniest things ever in these 3 years. Like one of the things I could do is I don't know, look to getting a PhD maybe if I can manage. That'd be like, hi, you said you wanted to hire me. I now have a PhD in linguistics. Please pay me more, right? Maybe I don't know, or maybe then I can work at universities. Who knows? I could learn a bunch of languages. Be like, yeah, you know about teaching German? Yeah, I can also now teach some other languages, at least at beginner level. So that's, I don't know. 3 years is a long time, but it's also the next big milestone that is going to be coming up. So I'm just kind of taking it a bit easy for now, and seeing where life takes me. Oh yeah, as said all the way in the beginning. Oh, the music is barely playing. As said all the way in the beginning, like I'm recovering from burnout. That's the main target, the main goal, to fully recover, get some things done, write a German textbook. Yeah, I could also be like, yeah, you wanted to hire me? Hi, I have written and published my own German textbook here. Um, so we'll see where life takes me. Let's see. How much longer can I go? When do I have to leave? Uh, Look at my 2 p.m. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm streaming right now. I should be relaxing and winding down, but I've constantly have to keep the time. I have to constantly keep watch over the time because I cannot. I have to leave on time get to my class. And because it's a whole bunch of classes, it's not like, oh, if I arrive a bit late to one class and then I cannot go longer because I have to then go to my next class after that. So it's or prepare for my next class after that. So oh, at least it's warm today. That's nice. It was pretty cold. Okay, a low of 15 today as opposed to a low of like 7 2 days ago. Oh, it's 24 degrees. Oh, that's so nice. It's perfect weather. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful today. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, I have to leave in 1.5 hours ish. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stream for that long because I still need to prepare, still need to pack, and all that. But I could go for a bit longer. Okay. Actually, hold on. Let me run an ad. I need to get up, stretch, and go to the bathroom real quick. Let me run an ad right now. It's gonna hit soon anyway, and then I will see you all shortly. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you all in a bit.
Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
I'm back. Ignore the text that says ads will appear in about 2 minutes. That one is timed off the previous ads. So let me... Where is it? There you go. Music. There you go. Ay. I suddenly remembered one of the reasons I couldn't sleep well last night was because my mind was constantly busy. And it was busy with deriving the formula, recreating the formula of how to calculate the area of a hexagon. Sometimes I don't know what my brain is doing. But I was just lying there in bed and thinking, yo, I need to figure out the formula on how to calculate the area of a regular hexagon. I was probably thinking about hex maps and hex crawling for RPGs. But yeah, my brain is odd sometimes. So instead of falling asleep, I was lying in bed doing that, which is awesome. Not actually awesome. Yeah, I am slowly feeling the lack of sleep. I don't have time. I cannot go take a nap. If I go take a nap, it will I will have to restart, and it'll completely disrupt any chance of getting back to a more normal sleeping schedule if I now just take a nap in the middle of the day like this. So I'm gonna be super tired tonight, hopefully, and then I can sleep well and then get up at the appropriately early time tomorrow. Plus, I have to teach a class tomorrow morning anyway. One of the few morning classes I teach. Yay! So I need to get up early anyway. So that's a thing. Yeah, but I am definitely feeling the slump in energy slightly. And I really don't think I will teach her Gendo. Hopefully not like Gendo. That's gotta be scary. So I hope I don't come across like Ikari Gendo. Students are supposed to feel safe in class, right? They're supposed to feel like this is a place where I can make mistakes and I won't be punished for it, or I won't be ridiculed for it, right? Because that's important. If you're learning a new skill, one of the biggest demotivators is the fear of making mistakes and what might come from that. And so the classroom environment should be a safe space in that regard, where students are allowed to, are encouraged to try out and make mistakes, and then learn from them, right? That's the whole point. But you got to make the mistakes first. And yeah, because there are sadly enough people outside that will ridicule you for mistakes. The classroom shouldn't be one of them. Yeah, so So I hope it's not Gendo. Um, yeah. I don't have any plans for. Let's see. I don't have any concrete plans for Chinese New Year. So I do hope that I will be able to stream more often per week. Like the current. Hey, Briar, hello. We're yapping in here, yeah, for a little bit still. How's it going? I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, we're mainly talking about things like I am, thank you. Yeah, that's very good to hear. Mainly talking about I don't know whatever comes across. Right, we're talking about a lot of woes of teaching, legal woes as well. Right now, just Chinese New Year as well. Chinese New Year is coming up. I hope to stream more per week. I don't stream a lot right now. I stream maybe twice a week, right? But and this is the big thing, those 2 times per week I'm streaming are RPG sessions with other people. So whether or not I can stream depends a lot on those other people. If any of you are listening who are taking part in them, I'm not blaming anyone. I completely and fully understand and accept that life gets in the way. That is just part of being an adult. We no longer have, I don't know, 8 hours to sink into RPGs every day. It sucks, but it's reality, right? I'm not blaming anyone. Okay? Okay. Now, that said, I do hope that I can then have 1 or 2 streams per week in addition to that are just me streaming so that at the very least those can happen. And then the RPG streams, if they work, they work. If they don't and I have to skip them or whatever, that's okay. That's okay because I'm doing other stuff as well. I'm gonna lie, I feel better that let them learn those mistakes early, letting them learn from mistakes, best teacher experience. Yes, definitely. Right? You need to try things out. You need to they are especially with no with everything, right? But for language learning as well, it's very important because you need to use a language. At the end of the day, you need to use a language to learn the language. Um, but using a language is very, very daunting because there's a million things you have to watch out for. You have to pick the correct word, you have to use the correct grammar, and you have to speak it correctly and all that. And the whole thing has to make sense and fit the conversation that we're having right now. And so it's a lot. Um, so taking away the fear of mistakes is going to take away a large hurdle. And that's what I strive for when teaching. That I hope I manage to create this environment where students can feel like they can make these mistakes here to get a chance to learn from them. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I fully agree. Mm, what time is it? It's 12:30. I think I'm gonna wind down the stream. Um, I do need to get ready, and then leave at some point. I don't know if I may need time to eat something for lunch as well. I'll have to see. But yeah, this was always going to be a shorter stream today because I got up late because I didn't sleep well, and then I have work. I have work coming up. I don't usually have work this time. Maybe I will. I don't know. Some of the work I'm still scheduling on a week by week basis, which doesn't help. Let's see. I'm hoping to raid someone. Let me just slowly have a look around who's streaming. Not a lot of people are. I do realize it's late in the US, and a lot of the people I do follow are from there. Have the best night. Thank you. Even though it's in the middle of the day. So, but thank you for the sentiment. You too, though. You too, if you're heading off. Have the best day? Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just raid someone I haven't barely ever gotten the chance to raid. Let's do that. Okay. So yeah, sorry that we're ending so soon right after you got in, but yeah, I am feeling the dip happening. Let's go raid Penelope. I don't ever get to raid Penelope. And Penelope is currently 4.5 hours into streaming and just started up Warframe. So I am thinking that the stream's gonna go for a while. So are they gone? Hello? The model's not moving. But yeah. And maybe I'll hang out on that there for a little bit. I'll see. Oh yeah, let's go raid. Let's go raid Penep. Okay. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. This was just yapping. I was not gonna be able to play anything properly. So this is just yap. Hopefully, like, I won't have any work to do next week because everyone's on vacation. So I should be able to get more stuff done and more streaming done. So yeah, let's start this up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you everyone for being here. It was nice just streaming like this again. And I'm hoping to get more of these into the week, into a big schedule. So yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Have a great time zone, everyone. Stay hydrated and bye-bye.